Hi guys, caught me in the kitchen. Right, let's tell you what's happened since I got home. Got home fairly late. It was about 4:45 by the time we got home. It was already dark. I was going to get the boys out for a walk as soon as we got home, but because it was dark, it didn't make any difference. I thought, we'll have a tea break first. So Skippy had a flat white, I had a cup of tea, Skippy had a Mars bar, so we settled down. So I didn't go out with the boys for a walk until about 5:45. So we've come back. Boys have now had their dinner. I've got my dinner on. I'm just making myself a cup of tea while I'm waiting for my dinner to cook. Skippy's settled down in the front room. She's got her feet up. She's relaxing. Right. What happened today was, let me just turn the kettle off, guys. Oh, it's just flipped off. We had to be over at Bury by 12. And then Skippy had her scan done, her CT scan. I didn't see her go. When we went into the waiting room at the Bury Hospital, the place was pretty well packed and there was no two seats together. So Skippy sat on one side of the room and I had to sit on the other side of the room waiting for her. And as there was nothing to do, everybody was sat there with the phones out, playing with the phone. So I was no different. I got my phone out and I started going through messages. I glanced up to see where Skippy was and she'd gone. I hadn't seen her go. They'd come in and called her name, I hadn't heard them at all, and she'd gone out. So I sat there thinking, well, she'll be back soon. Sure enough, she did come back a little bit later on, all done. She had a, what do they call that, a cannula in the back of her hand. She had one of those in the back of her hand. And I said, what's happening? She said, we've got to wait an hour before the results come through. She said, so we might as well go and get something to eat. So I said, okay. I said, let's go down to the cafeteria. So we went through the cafeteria to the restaurant, the cafeteria, and we had something to eat. Skippy had a slice of cake and a coffee, and I had a roll, like a French stick, and a cappuccino. So we sat there, had that, and then Skippy said, come on, let's go back and see what happens. So we went and sat down. We weren't sat down that long, we got called through. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to go in with Skippy, but I was. They allowed me in. And so I sat in there, so they were really good, very, very professional. It was really well done. And they said they'd checked for clots on her lungs, blood clots, and there was no blood clots. So they said that's good news. They said, but what they did find is she's got an enlarged spleen. So there's more tests got to be done for that. Also, they want to do a scan of her legs, which they didn't do today because they didn't think they'd be looking there. So we've got to go back again tomorrow so they can scan her leg. It's her left leg. I'm trying to think which one it was. So they've got to scan her leg, and then we've got to wait for the results from that as well, and then speak with the doctor again to see what's the next course of action. They only done a CT scan of her chest area today, but they said they might have to do a scan from there down. But the one they're going to do tomorrow is just going to be the leg, and that's booked in. But the one lower down, they've got to run it through the system to get it A-OK, so we can get another date for that. But fingers crossed so far, everything's looking quite good. She's still on her blood thinners, and she's still on her antibiotics, and she's still on painkillers. The pain today, she said, is so much more manageable than it was before. She said she can cope with this, so that's really good. So things are looking quite rosy at the moment, but like I said, we've got to go back again tomorrow for this next scan, and that's an early booking. We've already got the time for that one, so we're going to shoot in early, which hopefully, if that works out right, we might be back the earlier part of the afternoon. I can get the boys out and give them a daylight walk when we get back. Skippy still can't drive. She can't walk too far either because of the pain, and she's still very short of breath. But fingers crossed, at least she hasn't got blood clots on the lungs, thank goodness. So that's good news. It's just a case of finding out what's going on. So that's ongoing. So I'm cooking dinner at the moment. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, go and sit in the front room with Skippy and relax until I've got another 5 minutes before I've got to reset the timer and put some more items on. So it's all looking good, guys. It's looking really rosy. Get the cup, make my cup of tea, and I can go sit down. It's been a good day though. It's been a really lovely day. It's worked really well so far. There you go. Work has been fantastic again. Again, I phoned in and spoke or messaged my service manager and told what was going on. She was fine. She said, sort of, thumbs up, you carry on, you have as much time off as you want. We've just got to get Skippy sorted, which is what we need to do. So that's the way it is at the moment. So I'm just going at the moment until Skippy's okay, and then maybe I'll be looking at going back to work, but not until then. I'm going to be here until she's okay, guys. Right, cup of tea time. Got to have a cup of tea. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have a shower tonight because I didn't have one last night. Skippy slept downstairs last night. I'm not sure if she's going to be sleeping downstairs tonight or not. I think she found it more comfortable because it's cooler downstairs, because she does tend to be blow hot and cold. So I think she found it nice in that respect, and the sofa is really comfortable anyway, and I think she liked the company of Snoop sat on her feet all night. But we'll see, I don't mind. Wherever she wants to sleep, she can sleep. Right guys, I'm going to sign out, make my cup of tea, and I shall speak to you guys a little bit later. Okay, bye bye.